Do you want to build a
I will go
snowman?
most anywhere.
All right, guys, welcome back to the
find
Friend
where
of
I belong.
Sinners. Tonight,
Jonathan's, like, so done.
Andrew is bringing us a topic. What is it, Andrew?
Eminem, please sponsor us.
Eminem.
Rapper,
about the rapper.
or
Yeah,
candy.
rapper
Either
or
one.
Welcome to the Friend of Sinners podcast. I'm your host, Andrew. I got my good old friends, Josh and Jonathan, here today. Yeah, we just want to, just go over a kind of fun topic. Imagine it's 2 a.m., you're at a bonfire, you're having this good conversation with your friends, and then one of you idiots go do dogs go to heaven?
Wow. Way to just throw people out there. If you've ever wondered if your dog's in heaven, you're an idiot. What is that?
Did I just answer that question?
Apparently.
Oh, no. Yeah, so anyways, we're going to...
And so we're done. Thank you for coming to the podcast.
We're done. And I would just... no, but it's just one of those fun conversations you just have randomly in the middle of the night. And I thought it'd just be fun. Hey, do animals have souls, or do they go to heaven?
Do you have any animals?
I have one dog.
What kind of dog?
Just small, little terrier. It's cute. Terrier mix. We do not know what
Boy
the
or
other half
girl?
is. It's a boy.
What's his
He's a
name?
man. Barks. But with an X. Not with a KS. It's
Barks?
Barks.
Do you have animals?
Yeah, I had a dog named Mocha. She's a girl.
What kind of dog?
Border Collie.
Okay.
What about you, Jonathan?
Yep, yellow lab.
Name.
Her name is Hattie.
How did you come up with Hattie?
I don't know. I think we just saw it somewhere. I think it's short for Harriet. That's what.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I feel...
There's
It's
no
not
D.
no.
There's no D in it.
Look it up. I'm pretty sure it is.
Or are you just confirming?
Hattie is a
Hattie's
nickname
short?
for the English name Harriet.
I don't
which
like
means
those names.
ruler of the home.
I don't understand how
You know
Richard
it's-
goes to Dick or Robert goes to Bob. I'm I don't get it.
Or Rob is it Bob for William or Rob for William?
What does William go to?
Bill.
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 Oh, sorry,
yeah,
that's what it was.
Still dumb.
Billy?
I don't get it.
English makes no sense. Sorry. So yeah, do animals have souls, Jonathan? I mean, I talking about pets, animals. Does Hattie have a soul?
She for sure does not have a soul. If she does, it's black.
Jeez, what?
No, I don't know. What do you think?
Do animals have souls? That's kind of hard, I guess. Because they have definitely personality, they definitely have character, but I don't know. Because some people would soul would be your emotions or something like that, but also soul is what would go to heaven. So that's kind of a two-layered question. It's will they go to heaven? I don't know. I don't think they have a soul.
You don't think animals have a soul?
As in, will we see them in heaven? Will we see them, I don't know, at the pearly gates, you're, at line, and then there's Hattie, tugging on your leg or something while you're waiting in line.
She follows me there.
Close the gate. Close the gate.
You're about to go
to your bed.
Yeah, you're about to go to the door, and you're here, fetch, and just quickly sneak in. I feel we have some commonalities, but also there are some differences.
You think? Between humans and animals? Is that what you're saying?
I suppose, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because people argue, it's oh, we're nothing but, you and me, we ain't nothing but mammals.
What is that?
I probably should not finish that song.
Apparently that's inappropriate.
I feel like six people just no, this is should not be sung at all. I don't know, people just talk about we're not any better than animals, we're just slightly higher evolved
on the food chain, higher
Yeah.
up in the food chain, yeah.
But we're much different, I think.
Do you think, or what do you think?
I don't know anymore, Josh. All
right, I'll tell you something.
what you got? You've been
So I just brought this because everyone should have this book because I think it's the very best thing written about the afterlife and heaven, and it's called Heaven.
Good name.
By Randy Alcorn. Seriously though, it's awesome. You don't have to you can use it like a textbook, just reference things or whatever.
Yeah.
So in this, he talks about how, he says, "Am I suggesting animals have souls?" And he says, "Certainly they do not have human souls." And he talks about which you've mentioned, when God breathed a spirit into Adam's body, made from the earth, Adam became the Hebrew word nephesh, a living being or a soul. And then he says this: remarkably, the same Hebrew word nephesh is used for animals and for people. We're specifically told that not only people but animals have the breath of life in them. So, like, I don't know, maybe they do, but not human souls.
Yeah.
No, I think animals sin.
Well,
I think so.
Mine certainly does. I don't know. I do know this, that God has like subjected all of creation, is what Romans says, to futility, and like even the groanings of creatures and animals, there's like a groaning, anticipating, waiting for when Christ will come again to renew all things. So there's that aspect to it.
But also, I feel like in order to sin, you have to have some sense. Like, can a baby sin? Like, baby doesn't know.
They're born
left
sinners,
from
aren't they?
right.
They also say
But, like,
no a lot.
No, my babies. Yeah.
But like,
A little thinner.
but they have to have some sort of sense. Like, I mean, how can something like, I mean, animals don't really have much sense. Like, as in, like, they only just kind of see and observe. But like, what was it? What was the? I'm trying to remember. Like, they don't have a sense of identity or self, something like that. I'm trying to remember
The
what
self-actualization.
Yeah, like they're just kind of like, what they see is what the world really is. Like, they don't understand like there's much more to the world.
Object permanence.
I think so. Part of it.
It's like the thought, like when baby's there, like you close your face and you're gone. And then you appear and you're like, oh my gosh, where did you come from? Because when it's not visible, it's not there. But
I think there's another one.
That's object permanence.
Yeah.
I think.
Or so they're not like self-awareness. Like, they don't. I don't know. Like, they won't recognize on their meters. I feel like that's. I don't know if that's for all animals, but I know like there's like studies where just like they don't like realize who they are really.
Right.
I can't think of.
But I don't know if that applies to all of them though. So I feel like that argument probably falls short and probably not a good one. But as far as going back to, what was the word, Rayash?
Nephesh.
Nephesh. Okay. You were reading earlier before this because we kind of had to re-record. Well, you have a spot to read, Josh, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's Genesis 1:26 and 27.
Mm-hmm.
Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. They will rule the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, the livestock, the whole earth, and the creatures that crawl on the earth." So God created man in his own image. He created him in the image of God. He created them male and female. So he just right there says we are above them.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a, well, I think we're different, but it's a, they will rule the fish, the birds, the livestock, the whole earth, and the creatures that crawl on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God has set us apart right from the beginning of creation.
Making
that we're
us
meant
in
to be
his
different.
image.
Yeah.
Us in his image. Animals aren't made in his image.
Right.
Yeah, which I think is like probably where the commonality stops. Like, yes, we're both created, we both have this nephesh, this breath in us, but now like they're more created in the image of God. And I think we talked a little bit earlier about the image of God in like a previous episode, but Jonathan, you want to quickly just hit what the heck does that mean? Like,
that we're made in his
yeah,
image.
like what is that? Like, what's so significant maybe about that?
Well, it's extremely significant because it what at least it means for us is that we have dignity. There's a value to us, and every human being has should be honored because of the dignity of being made in God's image. We were made to reflect Him back to Him, to glorify Him. But from the fall, that image has been marred and messed up and mangled. I've always kind of thought about it like, one time I was driving down the highway, dump truck in front of me, rock falls out, hits my windshield, cracks it. right? Like it was perfectly clear before I could see through it. It was great. But then all of a sudden this rock hit this, and this splinter of the break didn't make my windshield leave. It didn't break my windshield, but it cracked it, and the visibility changed. I still had my windshield. We still have it. It's just that image is so messed up, and fallen away from.
I like that
from God.
That's probably one of the most clearest probably examples of like people describing the image of God. I feel like it just always goes so all over.
Yeah.
So I like that. So yeah, okay. So we have this little difference between animals, and I guess
Then you just use the word little after all that. There's a little difference.
this little difference, this one minute tiny detail.
It's huge.
Yeah, so it's a really big difference, and so
it's pretty obvious. Like a child can know.
Yeah,
I'm a lot different than my dog.
Yeah, and so like, going back to the question, okay, I think the book had a really good answer. They don't have a human soul, but they probably still have a soul of their own, or they have kind of like, I don't know if that is a really good answer for that.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody could know that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But there's maybe a living being. I don't know.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty good.
Well, if it was, so Jesus died for us so that our souls would go to heaven, or we'd have new bodies in heaven,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so that's based on sin. So he died to take away our sin. So having no sin, we could go. But if animals just do what they were created to do, they were created to do everything that they do. They're created to reproduce, to eat, to be territorial, to, like dogs, they have fun. Like they do different things and different actions, and you can study them and you can make them do tricks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But they do exactly what they were created to do without fail. Like you don't see a penguin like cooking. Like it doesn't. That's not what it was made to do.
Fair enough.
And so they don't. In that way, they don't sin. They're not ever doing what they're not supposed to do. So if there's not sinning, there's no sin. So there's no sin to be taken away. So either, with I guess where my brain is going, is either all animals that have died, that have ever lived, go to heaven because none of them sinned.
Yeah.
Or none of them are going to heaven because they were just like the rest of creation in that it doesn't have a soul or anything that would change it to go to heaven. Does that make sense? I was kind of thinking as I was talking. So
Yeah. Sometimes I start a sentence and don't know where it
I'm
ends.
as surprised where it ends as you guys are.
Here's an interesting thing that he brings up. He says, why did God save the animals from the flood?
So that we'd have animals afterwards?
Okay, but why?
So that we'd have food.
Okay. Is that it?
They're
You
fun.
think?
They're man's best friend.
Yeah, he's like,
I
it's
don't
not
know,
good for
it's
man to be
interesting.
alone, so he saved the dogs and everything else. I don't know. That's actually interesting. Why did he?
Well, without animals and all that, we wouldn't have, like, they help the trees and stuff grow too, because they pollinate things, they move seeds around, they die, and it fertilizes the ground, they crap and it fertilizes, like, the whole ecosystem makes everything go around, so without one of them, it's not going to work with the other either.
But that is pretty good implication, because I'm just thinking, like, if the flood is supposed to be this, I guess this like this reset, but it's also like this foreshadowing of when Christ comes again. There's this salvation. Why were animals included in that? Dang, I have nothing for that. You caught me by surprise with that statement. I don't know.
Well, he talks about too, which I think is hugely important. And I've asked this before of you guys too, but like to ask people where are the golden streets? Where are those?
In the New Jerusalem?
Yeah, exactly. That's the right
New
answer.
Earth.
The New Earth. That's the right answer, right? But you know that most people would say heaven.
Right.
And most people, when they think of heaven, don't think of where we will be forever. And where we will be forever is here. But it's going to be new.
Yeah.
A new earth. We're not going to be this ethereal beings up in the sky with a harp.
It's the refurbished.
It's called a new earth.
Yeah.
So God has a plan for us and our salvation and our new bodies, but he's got a new plan for a new earth. So that should make us ask, will there be animals on the new earth?
Yes.
I like to think there will be,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
because it's part of God's creation, you know?
I think there'll be different animals.
Yeah.
I like to think so, because
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool. Like, God is obviously creative, and I don't think his creativity ran out on here. Like, oh, well, that's all I got. Oh,
Yeah.
we're just going to repeat that in the new heaven, new earth.
Well,
right.
even like heaven is occupied with a bunch of different beings other than just God and angels. Like there's seraphim and all these other beings. Why wouldn't this new earth have other beings than just humans, you know? And like with that, I know like one of the questions was asked, okay, so if there's probably going to be animals in the new heaven and new earth, are they going to be the same one as, you know, like my dog Barks or Hattie?
Definitely not Barks.
Definitely not Barks. He's so cute. I love him. But that guy's very vicious. He's like killed every small. No, he's even killed like possums that are bigger than him. This guy's like a vicious dog, but he's so sweet. But no, that just kind of makes me think like there's another verse.
Will my animal be there? Is
Yeah.
that the question?
Yeah, like I don't know. Like some people would be like, some people would maybe ask, okay, would it be my animal? Would it be the same dog or the same chinchilla pet, or I don't know, the same little sugar glider or whatever? Will my pet be there? I don't know if that's necessarily gonna. I don't know if you're gonna have your same pet in heaven, but there will be animals, and I think one of the places that kind of point to that is in Isaiah 11, starting at verse 6. It says like, in this talk, I feel like this could also point to when Jesus was here, but I feel like this is more so fulfilled in the new heaven and earth. But it's like the wolf will also dwell with the lamb. The leopard shall lie down with the young goat, the calf with the young lion, and the fatling together, and the little child shall lead them. And it's just like, the nursing child shall play by the cobra's hole, and the weaned child shall put his hand in the viper's den. It's like, it's talking about these like animals are going to be coexisting and not harming each other. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. Like, why would the Bible describe it like that when Jesus' kingdom is established, that there's animals won't attack each other? So like that there has to be some existence of it. It just probably they probably won't bite you. So that's why I'm thinking like, okay, we'll probably see them, or maybe some different variants of them. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, just to like go back, like I feel like I could probably just like firmly say like there will be animals on the new earth. And we talked about that passage in Romans of all of creation groaning, awaiting this hope. So like I don't think that would be in Scripture if it wasn't true that animals will be there. And that passage you just read too, I think is pointing to that too. So, but I don't know.
Well, I've had this conversation a couple times, and they've quoted a scripture that I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm remembering it right now. And it was maybe it was Job, somebody, and he was talking about that us, like the animals, we came from the same place and we will return to the same place. We came from dust, and we will return to dust and go to the same
I have that
spot.
one written down.
So where is it?
Ecclesiastes, I believe.
I
Ecclesiastes
had
3.
E in my head.
I didn't have a starting verse. I'm just going to kind of read a little bit more. But yeah, from Ecclesiastes 3, I'll start at verses 18. I said in my heart concerning the conditions of the Son of Man, God tests them, that they may see that they themselves are like animals. For what happens to the Son of Man also happens to the animals. One thing befalls them, as one dies, so dies the other. Surely they all have one breath. Man has no advantage over animals, for all is vanity. All go to one place, and all are from dust, and all return to dust. Who knows the spirits of the Son of Man, which goes upward, and the spirits of animals, which go down to the earth? And I have no idea how to exactly, I don't know, interpret that last one. Is it saying like animals go to hell and we go up? I don't
saying that nobody knows.
Yeah,
but I feel like it's saying going to dust as in we die.
Yeah,
and our body does go to dust.
Yeah, that first part, it just talks about, hey, animals come and go just like we come and go. We come out from the dust and we return to dust, you know. But just that last sentence, like our spirits go upwards, theirs go downward. I don't know if that just means we go to heaven and cats go to hell. I don't know.
On the contrary, all dogs go to hell, so, along with every other animal.
Along with every other. Yeah. So I know, like, that I was kind of reading that. It's like some people are like, oh no, all animals go to hell. It's like, I don't know. Like, just from that
I
one
don't think
verse.
so.
I like he quotes Johnny Erickson Tata, and she says, if God brings our pets back to life, it wouldn't surprise me. It would be just like him. It would be totally in keeping with his generous character, exorbitant, excessive, extravagant, and grace after grace. Of all the dazzling discoveries and ecstatic pleasures heaven will hold for us, the potential of seeing Scrappy, must have been her pet, would be pure whimsy, utterly, joyfully, surprisingly superfluous. Heaven is going to be a place that will refract and reflect in as many ways as possible the goodness and joy of our great God, who delights in lavishing love on his children. I kind of like that perspective of, like, it would just be like God to have Java or Hattie show up or be in the big field of my acreage and on the new earth.
Yeah.
Some people have a lot of pets. Like,
I
all
know.
of them are in
That's
heaven
true.
surrounding them.
Yeah.
It's like Evan Almighty with all the birds and all the
That's
animals
true.
coming up to him.
Yeah.
all at one
Seriously.
time.
I feel like, though, there's no definitive. You can't just be like
Mm-hmm.
yes or no.
I think
don't
there's
know.
a definitive, almost, we can pretty confidently say there will be animals in heaven. I think we're pretty confident about
Yeah.
that. But where they come from, if there's a mixture maybe of new creation,
yeah.
of new crazy creatures we can't even imagine yet, and Hattie, that's it. That's the only one from here.
That's the only one. That's the only one we get.
Yeah.
We only
Yeah.
get one pet in heaven,
Yeah.
and we all choose Hattie. I don't know.
No, it's fun to think about, though.
Yeah.
Just imagining, like, we talked about meditating the other day, and just meditating, like, really pondering, thinking over what is heaven going to be like? Are there,
Mhm.
like, these thoughts, they're fun.
Yeah. And I like this kind of conversation. It's just like, it's kind of something out there, but it's also just kind of interesting to, like, just think about, because, like, you then have to think about the whole concept of the afterlife and heaven and God's creation, and it's like
I think
more deeper than just an animal. you know?
Yeah.
Like-
and I think too, like, scripture has the words it has on purpose. And I say that to say, like, it says a new earth on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So you can walk around this earth and you can begin to imagine heaven. Not this isn't heaven, but it'll be a new earth. So what would a new palm tree look like? I don't know, but I'm going to try to imagine.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be a new earth.
I like to think of like Minecraft 2.0 or something. some little minor update.
Yeah.
Nate just rolled his eyes.
I think it goes from Minecraft to Ark. Everything's in higher definition.
Higher
and
resolution
different.
or whatever.
You can ride dinosaurs.
Yeah.
This is seriously silly what I'm thinking. Well, not silly, but maybe like too deep for it. But I feel like maybe sometimes in people's hearts as they're asking that, I feel like it should be like a check, though, too, of like, is it that big of a deal that your pet goes to heaven?
Mm.
If that's what's going to make heaven for you, there's a deeper heart issue going on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that could be true for anything. Is there going to be sex there? Is there going to be, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
That is like an alert to you to say Jesus is going to be there. That's for sure. And that should be enough. But I do think on the new earth with Jesus, he's going to lavish us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's Ephesians 2 that says in the coming ages, he will show us his immeasurable grace and riches and kindness. So it's like in the coming ages, there's just going to be this immeasurable lavishing of grace. Maybe it'll be your pet, I don't know. But if that's what heaven is for you,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. maybe too deep
That
or
is something
silly.
to think about.
I know. I feel like
Yeah.
that's like way too deep. You know, it's like
Yeah,
someone asks
sorry.
a simple question, you're like,
Delete it, Nate.
yeah, you're just like, can I have ice cream? It's like, well, what do you mean by ice cream? And then you just go into like this
Right.
deep like thoughts, like, I don't
Right.
even want ice cream anymore.
Right. But for some people, I'll say this: they treat their animals in a sick way.
Yeah.
Like, why are you pushing? Like, maybe this is maybe this is very offensive, but like, why are you pushing your dog in a stroller?
They got little legs.
Huh?
They got little legs.
little
Okay,
legs.
so leave them home. I don't know.
They want to go outside though.
Well, have a fence.
I like it
don't
because I saw
know.
like one of
It's
those
an
memes.
Animal.
Yeah.
Have you seen the one where it's a goldfish in a bowl, but in like a stroller? It's taking your
No.
fish for a walk.
No, I like the little memes where it's like, in this modern day, we now put kids on leashes and dogs on strollers.
Yeah.
The little kid backpack.
Yeah, it's like
crazy
what's
to
happening
me.
here?
I mean, to each their own, but that's wild.
No.
Maybe
my
not.
dog is
no.
my grandkid.
That's how we got into this mess
Huh?
in the
Or
first place.
my dog is my grandchild. Or
Yeah, and again, I get that. There's so many different circumstances in people's lives. Can't have kids, whatever. So you kind of take that to be your own, but also like it's a dog, so I don't know. I'm sorry.
animal hater.
You've
No,
you just
I
Hattie's
like
ruined
animals.
everything for you.
I-
Okay, you've
I-
never had a good pet.
I like Hattie. She's just a maniac.
Just vile and
She's just crazy. She's a good dog though. Labs are good dogs.
yeah. So like we're talking about pets and being or animals being in the afterlife or in the new heaven and earth, but like even here on the earth today, like again, just what kind of separates us from them? Because again, we're not just a higher evolved species or whatever. Like we have authority over them, and I think I know you read it while you were reading Genesis. I just like to kind of emphasize like one specific word, and it says like in Genesis 1:28, then God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful, and multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds in the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." Like God gives us authority to just have a dominion over them, and I don't know. I just kind of think like, okay, we're kind of set on a higher food chain, I guess. We're set higher above them.
Mm-hmm.
And I often kind of wonder, like, what the heck does that mean to have dominion? Like, maybe Adam could have like talked to deers and tigers and be like, "Hey, do this or do that." I don't know. Like, I'm just kind of trying to think about it, but then it kind of made me think. I don't know. I just went on this little rabbit hole towards like James 3:7. I don't know. It just made me think like how we've tamed all animals, and so like one of the verses in James 3, verse 7: "For every kind of beast and bird, of reptile and creature of the sea is tamed and has been tamed by mankind. But no man can tame the tongue." Yeah, so that's a little different subject. But like, it's just making me think like we've tamed everything. And one of the coolest things I've ever seen is I went to like this, I think it's like Big Cat Habitat. It's like this cat sanctuary, and I see this guy making these two giant tigers dance. Like one is like this, the snow tiger, and the other is this Bengal. So it's just this beautiful contrast. Both these cats can just chew this guy out, and yet he's having them hop through these little hoops, having them sit down and do a bow. And I'm just like, that is so wild that like we can do that to these, do something like as dangerous and wild as that,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, we can tame anything. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking like,
Just not the tongue.
yeah, it's just not the tongue, which is like I know it's such a different subject. It's like we can literally tame a freaking dangerous wild animal cat that can just tear us apart in a second. But I can't even stop saying freaking. So I'm like, this tongue is already untamable already. So it's like, yeah, ironically, I can't even tame my own tongue. It's like,
true.
isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
I think when I hear that we're called to subdue the earth and the creatures and
Mhm.
have dominion over it, I think of that we're in charge of it, and just like kind of like if you were asked to dog sit for your friend, they're
Mhm.
going out of town, they're like, "Hey, I need to watch my dog." You have dominion over it. You have control of that dog
Mhm.
and what happens to it, whether you decide to feed it or not, whether you decide to let it go outside or not. Like, you have complete control to do whatever you want with that dog
Mhm.
because you have the power to do it. But we are given a task, and we are leading that dog, whatever it is. I think that's also a call to take care of them as
Mhm.
well. Like, I am very much a meat lover. I like meat and I enjoy a good steak. I don't think that means we need to not eat meat or eat animals. I think it means don't abuse animals. Be kind to them. Enjoy your dogs.
Yeah.
And have pets. Like, do those things. Do not hurt things or do like out of context. I think there's very humane ways to take care of things and then kill them at the end. But
no, of course. But yeah, so like we have dominion. I don't know. I'm thinking we can have a good steak, right? Like we're in
Hope
charge.
so.
We're at the top of the food chain.
What about in like those third world countries that eat like cat and stuff though?
Yeah. Well, I think like we just kind
He said, "Yeah."
I mean,
I would eat a cat.
I mean, no.
Would you?
Yeah.
I'm just
I don't
thinking
care.
like why the only reason why
Heard it
we
tastes like
don't.
chicken. All right, go ahead.
You heard it tastes like chicken.
Yeah.
You heard it
I
tastes like
heard.
chicken.
I've tried rattlesnake and that tastes like chicken.
Oh, everything tastes like chicken, doesn't it? Except for chicken.
Do you think chickens will be in heaven? Do you think,
Dodo birds will be.
do you think we'll have to eat chicken in heaven?
I hope so.
You say
'Cause
have to.
they-
Like it's a bad
Hold on,
thing.
no,
I
there
like
has to
chicken.
be because Chick-fil-A's there.
Oh, you're right.
Where else would they get their chicken?
That's true.
I mean, what would they put in between those buns?
Yeah.
Cow? No, I don't think so. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just being an idiot. I don't even know I don't remember where I was gonna go before that. You got me sidetracked at that dump. Like you're talking about don't abuse animals or whatnot. I don't think that's just like a weird standard set up by people. Because we know that God cares for the animals. I was trying to remember one of the Psalms. It talks about like God feeds the animals and the birds cry for food and He provides for them. And so like God literally cares for animals and all these things. And one of the most like known stories, teachings when Jesus is telling us not to worry. He's like, these ravens or these sparrows neither sow nor reap, and yet God takes care of them every day. And are you not more valuable than them? So it's just showing like God has this intentionality to take care of even little animals and all that. And so I just think that's kind of interesting. So God doesn't hate them. Neither should we hate them, but we could eat them.
Amen.
Let's end it on that, right? I don't know what else. Hold on. That's pretty much, yeah.
Jesus rode on a donkey.
He did, and he's got. Actually, so I remember reading someone made a comment it's like, "Are there animals in heaven?" And someone's like, "Well, Jesus comes in with a white horse. So there's at least one white horse up there."
true.
Right? Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, maybe.
Oh, and he spoke to that one guy through the donkey.
Balaam.
Balaam.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
So
Balaam. Yes. I'm trying to remember something with the B. Yes.
that's an interesting story.
I know that's such a wild story. We don't have time for that. I was thinking like, do I
Look
want to
it
go
up.
and read it? But I'm like, hold on, I don't remember exactly where it's
I
at.
have no idea.
I know. I think it's like Exodus or Numbers. I don't know. I'd have to skim through it. But anyway, so I think it's just been a pretty fun conversation. I just find this more casual and fun. Just talking about animals and stuff like that. So do animals have souls? Jonathan, do you have an easy answer for that?
Maybe. They might.
I have an attention span of a chicken nugget, Jonathan.
Yeah.
I need my answer. Do animals
That's
have
my
souls?
answer.
Oh, they do?
They
No,
might.
They might.
They
yeah.
might.
Not. They don't. They don't have one like a human.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very simple. I think that's a pretty good answer. All right, guys. Well, I think this is just a pretty fun little episode. We'll see you guys around next time. We're gonna have some hopefully interesting, maybe something a little bit. Stop. You guys.
You call every episode a little episode, whatever the episode is. We'll have the
everything's little.
deepest
It's just-
conversation ever, and you'll be like, "So, thanks for the little episode that we did about."
Like now you made me conscious about it. I'm
Sorry.
never gonna say that again. Like
Or you'll say it every time. Like the
That's
little episode, we were
either
just
double down or
Yeah.
or go in that
One or
direction.
the other.
It's
Sorry,
gonna be one of those
you're
two
doing
things.
great.
No, we're doing fine. Thanks.
All right.
All right.
See you
Love
later, guys.
Yeah, love you guys. Have a good one.